Hear me out. You only need to build enough for a solo march, and here's why. Okay? When you're playing Lords Mobile in particular, right, there's really only a couple of things you need to know, which is that you're either going to be a high spender or a low spender or a free-to-play player. And if you're going to be either one of these players, right, whether you're the spender or the mid spender or the low spender, I would recommend you build to your capacity. Meaning, I recommend you start off by actually only having enough to sufficiently do what it is that you want to do in the game. Meaning, most people, they don't send more than 2 or 3 full marches at a time, so don't build 2 or 3 million T4 if you don't plan on taking 2 to 3 million in troop loss, and you're not willing to pay for it. Because one thing this game is not nice to is actually maintenance. And it's a common theme in this game, but honestly, you'd be far better off saving your speeds and maintaining a troop composition of only 3 to 400,000 T4, and maybe, bare minimum, give yourself like maybe a couple 100,000 T2, and just stay anti-scouted. If you're billion might core might, you don't need that much T4 really, unless you just rally lead all the time. But even then, really, do you need that much? Because if you maintain a certain amount of T4s, granted that means yes, you can get zeroed if you get rallied. Yes, that means you can get hurt. But you don't have enough for it to matter either. Because most of your troops are going to get put back in the sanctuary anyway. And the benefit of having the strategy employed is that when you do end up making a mistake, you go, oh, okay, not a big deal. You just go back to playing the game. You can build it back up because you did what I suggested, which is to basically have a stash of speed ups and resources on hand for that very occasion. So that in the event that you do get hurt, you can rebuild and it's not a devastating disaster. There are people that I've seen that will have millions of troops, wake up the next day and it is completely gone and they are not able to, or not even willing to, rebuild because of just how distraught a person can be when you get completely flattened out like that. And in some ways more than one, you'll find that my advice here is really pretty sound, because even most of the rally leads you see in this game, even the people that can have tens of millions of T4, they don't really feel like it was necessary. They themselves will agree that if you just build enough to manage what you have, that's really all you need. Maybe a few million T4, sure, but to go anything more than that is excessive. And it's only going to be lost later. And that's the thing, you really can't attribute loss to something if you don't have it to begin with. And hence the logic, and it makes a pretty good mentality for rally fillers. It makes an okay mentality for people that are playing the game as a low-end spender. Now your high-end spenders, whole different mindset, right? High-end spenders, it's like, okay, listen, 4 mil across all the time, 4 mil across, T2 all the time. Gotta have your double-deckered best gear sets. You gotta have everything maxed out, and you're constantly spending hundreds and hundreds of, just time and energy alone in it is a lot higher. The commitment is a lot higher. And so when you're in that kind of mindset, it's a different way of looking at the game, because capacity is more their concern than conserving. Capacity to wipe out a bunch of accounts in a day is more entertaining to them. These are the kind of people that will bounce from one rally to the next and not think twice. And it's mainly because the pursuit of kills and the pursuit of just playing the game is more important than actually conserving. And in some ways more than one, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that, if you buy in lieu of exhausting those efforts and those resources into it, you're also consumed by it. And so in more ways than one, neither playstyle is a bad one, but if you want my 2 cents, for the average Joe, it makes a lot more sense to just fulfill your needs and basically sustain them, rather than go excessive, because the moment you go excessive, you'll come to regret it. that's all the advice I have for the day.